Hello there, I'm Elias, welcome to my channel. Following up the last video I made about the biggest issue with the Skyrim Special Edition Anniversary Edition update, check that out in the top right corner by the way, I wanted to make an update covering the best mod list for Skyrim's graphics module and what the current state of it is. I know I'm not the best at making updates with my limited time, but I think it's good to be transparent with you all when I am able, especially you awesome patrons. If you watched my last video, you'll know that the development of BMS is not finished and that there is still loads of work to be done. Fortunately, Anniversary Edition hasn't affected my ability to develop the graphics module much. That being said, I have been on a bit of a personal hiatus over the last few months, working out some specifics with my personal life and my real job, which is why the updates to BMS haven't been as frequent as I would have liked. With me taking on less time at my job now, however, I'm hoping this will change, since I have more time than ever to release new content for you guys. So anyway, as it stands now, BMS is in a pretty good place barring a few things. I'm going to be mostly focused on the graphics module of BMS, but this applies to the essentials and audio modules of BMS in many ways too, of course. The first thing that needs to happen with BMS is a general maintenance update. With mods constantly updating, these should happen regularly, but of course the AE update prompted many authors to update their mods, which has led to an increase in new mod versions over the last couple months. This, however, does appear to be slowing down though, which is a good thing. Since the last build of BMS was compiled on November 10th, 2021, prior to the release of any of the 1.6 Anniversary Edition updates, BMS still requires end users to build BMS from version 1.5.97 of Skyrim Special Edition. This obviously leads to a lot of confusion with the numerous versions of 1.6 in existence. At the time of writing this video, I believe there are 4 different versions of 1.6. Currently, users installing BMS must downgrade their Steam runtime to 1.5.97 via Helgari's downgrade patcher prior to the installation of BMS. Ideally, following a Bethesda Skyrim update, I should always have a new build of BMS compiled from their latest version. This doesn't mean that BMS will be running that latest version, just that it will compile from that latest version. So that way, all users have to do is to make sure that their Steam installation is up to date to install BMS. This will lead to a lot less frustration of novice users, which is a majority of the target demographic for mod lists. The other reason a general maintenance update needs to happen, besides the various small mods that need updating of course, is that the version of Cutting Room Floor BMS was using, version 3.1.9, has been removed by Nexus moderators. If you follow the BGS modding community at all, this might come as a surprise to you, as in August of 2021, Nexus removed the ability of mod authors to completely remove their work from the site, instead mandating an archival system that removes downloads from the public webpage, but still allows access via API calls. This allows for mod lists and other applications to still access files, leading to more stable Wabbajack mod lists that wouldn't break every week. However, in this case, the Nexus admins actually physically removed numerous Cutting Room Floor archives, including version 3.1.9, so even API calls cannot access them. I had a long discussion with Nexus moderator Pinky about why this was, and it turns out there was allegedly a major bug in those versions that caused crashes. Thus, under their own terms of service, Nexus could remove those files. Obviously, this raises a lot of concerns for me, as it defeats the entire purpose of Nexus archives. I personally believe removing these files leads to more confusion. If they're known to cause issues for people, especially mod list authors, who are using those archived files anyway, they should obviously know better and not use them, right? Having intact version records is more important than satisfying a few people that don't know how to debug their mods. As for the validity of the complaints, I can neither confirm nor deny them. Pinky was very vague about the root cause of the problem, stating simply that they investigated the issue and that they were confident in their actions. Personally, I have seen no evidence of version 3.1.9 causing issues in BMS, but that doesn't mean they weren't present. Anyway, what's done is done, and updating this mod to the latest version, or removing it, is now required. I haven't decided which, honestly. Cutting Room Floor is a controversial mod for many reasons, so removing it wouldn't be a big loss. The current workaround for end users is to manually find an unauthorized mirror of that version of Cutting Room Floor and downloading it manually. Ideal, obviously. Lastly, for this upcoming update, I've fine-tuned LOD distances to significantly reduce VRAM usage, but this will require me to better blend the level 1 tree LODs with the level 2 tree LODs. So that will take a bit of time, but it's a worthwhile investment given the improved FPS and reduced computation utilization.
Well, it depends on how you want to define it, of course. I'm bad with words and I'm bad with definitions. So basically there's the full model that's loaded in right now. There's another basic full model that is a little farther out, which basically looks like this one here, but it doesn't have animations and the textures are a lot lower quality. And then there's the actual billboard trees, which are the ones that you can see over there. And the reason that those stick out is just because their colors off.
So look forward to that. It will take some time. Once the maintenance update is released with these changes, I'll be able to move on with a few other things I've been wanting to do for quite a while. Besides improving the various textures and making overall mesh consistency fixes, I've wanted to devote a significant amount of time to the grasses in BMS. Currently, I'm using a few different mods which together give good performance and look decent, but it's not a perfect implementation. Late last year, I ran a few basic tests which led me to believe that a rudimentary 3D grass mod would be possible, with little or no performance hit. I also think I will be able to add great looking snowgrass to the game. This is something nobody has done yet, though it should be possible. Of course, I will need to go out and gather assets, but fortunately, I recently got an awesome camera, and I live in a place with great outdoors. We're heading into the spring here in the Northern Hemisphere, the season that BMS is meant to emulate, so May and June will be a good time for me to go out and collect those assets. It will be a big project for sure, but it will be well worth it, given there's nothing like it for Skyrim at the moment. If you can't tell, I'm really excited for that, and I don't really get excited by much in the modding community these days. I also have some other large-scale projects for BMS 3 I'm rolling around in my head, but those will have to wait for another day. I'm not entirely decisive on them yet. Other than that, my main goal for this year with BMS 3 is bug fixes. There are lots of little things that all of you and myself have discovered that need to be fixed. They're mostly consistency issues, but there are a few that are more severe. Fortunately, it looks like BMS 3 is really stable. Given you have the appropriate system specs, of course, I'll be doing some live streams shortly where I'll do a playthrough of the current version of BMS 3 and test how long I can play without crashing or other major issues appearing. So I'm really looking forward to that. Check out my Twitch link below and join my Discord where I announce my streams so you don't miss those. Oh, one more thing. I also want to start a private repo for BMS here at some point to make version control easier on my end. Right now, it's quite frankly a pain in the ass. I have to manually keep track of different versions of BMS and then revert manually, and it blows. Obviously, I can't make it publicly accessible due to copyright law, but being able to revert versions on my end easier would be really nice and make development much easier and faster. I only wish there was a way people could contribute, but since I can't share it openly, that seems like an impossibility. Anyway, that's all I have time for today. In my next video, I'll be talking about my long-term plans for the BMS 4 gameplay module, so get subscribed so you don't miss that. Obviously, it's a little ways off, long ways off, but we'll get there one day. Leave a like if you enjoyed the video and check out this other relevant content. Hope you learned something, and I'll see you in the next video.